to connect a region of over 600 million bridges between our lands.
Good evening, I'm Alma Angeles, and you're watching ASEAN in Focus. On today's headlines, 5 rescuers were killed in the country after they were sent to a flooded community during a powerful typhoon. President Bongbong Marcos Jr. Monday morning conducted an aerial inspection over areas affected by Typhoon Karding, international name Noru, just after presiding over a situation briefing with top government officials. And tropical storm Noru, which is located in the Philippine Sea, is now expected to hit Vietnam and Lao PRD plus Thailand on Tuesday and Wednesday. And they will bring heavy to very heavy rainfall to the northern and northeastern regions of Thailand, according to the Thai Meteorological Department.
Numbers from Central.
And members of the Church of Christ in Thailand were picking up trash along coast of Bang Sen Beach, aimed at combating waste problem worldwide. First in our news, 5 rescuers were killed in the Philippines after they were sent to a flooded community during the powerful typhoon Karding or Noru, according to authorities, without releasing details of their cause of death yet. The 5 rescuers were in San Miguel Municipality in Bulacan Province near the capital Manila when they died. Lieutenant Colonel Romualdo Andres, Chief of Police in San Miguel, said they were deployed by the provincial government to a flooded area. San Miguel Disaster Officer Renan Herrera confirmed the deaths and said they may have drowned in floodwaters. Nearly 75,000 people were evacuated from their homes before the storm hit, as the meteorological agency warned of heavy rains that could cause serious flooding in vulnerable areas, triggering landslides and destroying crops. Meanwhile, on Monday morning, there were no signs of widespread devastation that many had feared, and yet this is what President Marcos had to say.
But I think that the preparation that we did all day yesterday, just making sure that everything was pre-positioned, we had a plan for whatever would happen. We were ready for all of this. I always, you might think that we overdid it. There's no such thing as overkill when it comes to disasters. So tama ito, you put everything in place, and kahit mabuti na yung sobra kaysa sa kulang.
Despite taking the full force of the typhoon, authorities said it passed over quickly, and there were so far no reports of major damage to houses, but some crops were wiped out. The Philippines ranked among the most vulnerable nations to the impacts of climate change and is hit by an average of 20 storms every year. Upon arrival from the United States, President Marcos immediately got in touch with disaster agencies for pre-positioning and to provide assistance to individuals and families that will be affected by the typhoon, ensuring that they continue to be connected to the full range of services and supports they need. Here's President Marcos.
In the meeting that we had with the NDRMC and the other representatives, just to get an assessment on yung naging effects ng Typhoon Karding, dahil we were very worried na malakas, nag-signal number 5 kagad. Ito. But I think that we were able to prepare. Pag uwi ko galing sa airport kahapon ng maga, I started already talking to our NDRMC, DILG, DSWD, DOST, to find out what the situation is. We are presently, what we are organizing is the airlift for food materials, food packs, water to Polillo, because sabi nila yun ang talagang right now, those are the first area, kaya yun ang unang tinamaan.
Meanwhile, President Marcos Jr. also led a briefing with the National Disaster Risk Reduction and Management Council for updates on affected areas. On Sunday, Malacanang already approved the recommendation of the National Disaster Risk Reduction and Management Council for classes in all levels in public school and work in government offices be suspended today, Monday. Again, let's listen in.
I think, as you might have noticed, I put great emphasis into yung prepositioning to prepare as much as possible. Kaya maganda, I'm happy to note that we have many assets, we have mga sasakyan, yung mga goods, whatever it is that we will need, pati na yung they're already available, ready to go.
Food packs were distributed in several evacuation centers since last night. We have a preposition food, food items, and non-food items in different areas.
How many people are still in the evacuation centers?
Sir, we were very close with the OCD, 10,000 to about 13,000 families. Namimigay na po kami ng mga pagkain, including those stranded sa mga pier po, dyan sa Batangas Port, dyan po sa may Sorsogon.
Pinapakain din.
Pinapakain na po ng DSWD, sir, kasi sinagot na ho natin. Food boxes at saka water, sir, like you have instructed me. So we purchased a water bottle, yes, sir. Opo.
Yeah. Okay. So anong in your estimation, sa yung mga areas na talagang nangangailangan ng tulong?
Region 4A, sir, yung dinaanan po talaga yung truck ng typhoon. Metro Manila, we have evacuation centers in Marikina. And Region 3, sir, yung talagang dinaanan po ng Typhoon Carding.
Mga pictures, ito po sa Aurora, even before, nagbi-meeting na po sila. Sige lang, ito sa Nueva Ecija, talagang pinagandaan po ito, no? The DILG issued the necessary memoranda and advisories to all concerned LGUs to carry out the necessary preparedness action of Super Typhoon Carding, implement preemptive or forced evacuation in areas with high to very high susceptibility of floods and landslides.
One of the most important things is to establish immediately after a storm or the case to establish communications with the affected areas para alam natin kung what's happening. And of course, power. Kaya nandito si Secretary Lutilla. I want to ask what we have been doing before, even before I took office, was pagka may disaster, nagpapadala kami ng mga truck para mag-provide ng Wi-Fi connection.
One is in Ilocos Norte, and the other was in Quezon. But insofar as the major areas where the landfall of the typhoon hit, all communications are intact. The telcos that are Smart, Globe, PLDT, they're all working po.
How many of the telco systems went down? In other words, how much damage did they suffer?
So far, we have not
make up for.
So far, we have not reported any for now.
Also, we have a damaged infirmary. This is a lower level facility also in Nueva Ecija, where the roof of the hospital was ripped off. So meron isang area sa lobby po yun at saka sa emergency room. So nailagay yung mga pasyente naman sa ibang area ng ospital. This is just a small facility, infirmary lang naman po. And our people are on the ground already doing the repairs. We also have leaking roof in our mega TRC. This is our big isolation and quarantine facility in Palayan City, Nueva Ecija. So ngayon po inaayos na rin. We have funds to repair all of these facilities through our quick response funds at nandun na po yung region. What we are really watching out for right now would be the power interruptions because of our vaccine storage for COVID-19. So we already have pre-positioned our generators in Nueva Ecija so that we can maintain the storage of our...
Saan galing? Who will provide it?
Meron po yung mga ospital naman namin, nakukuha naman po namin.
Just a recap, Super Typhoon Noru slammed into the Philippines Sunday. It battered the heavily populated main island of Luzon with strong winds and heavy rains that have forced thousands of people to flee their homes. Take a look.
Ang karamihan din po dito ay yung naninirahan ay mga nasa tabing ilog, nasa mga informal settler families po. Sila po yung may mga light materials na bahay kung makikita nyo. At kung meron tayong matinding pag-ulan o bagyo, sila po unang apektuhan.
The storm was packing maximum sustained winds of 195 kilometers or 121 miles an hour as it charged towards the archipelago nation after an unprecedented explosive intensification. Noru, the strongest storm to hit the Philippines this year, made landfall in Verdes municipality on the Polillo Islands, part of Quezon province, at 5:30 p.m. School classes, non-essential government services have all been suspended for Monday. The Philippine Army and the Philippine Air Force are now preparing all available personnel and assets for possible humanitarian assistance and disaster relief missions in the aftermath of Super Typhoon Carding or Noru. Philippine Army spokesperson Colonel Cerces Trinidad, in a statement on Sunday night, already said that the Army has marshaled around 200 personnel who were ready to risk limbs and life to save lives. Meanwhile, Army Operations Center officers and personnel are continuously monitoring the situation in calamity areas for possible deployment of humanitarian assistance and disaster relief teams or HADR teams. The PAF has placed all of its disaster response task unit, personnel equipment, and air assets in Luzon on alert status for possible HADR missions. And President Bongbong Marcos Jr. on Monday morning conducted an aerial inspection over areas affected by Typhoon Carding, or with the international name Noru, just after presiding a situation briefing with top government officials. Take a look. Now, the president shared this short video clip of himself inside a chopper on his official Twitter account. He announced in a press briefing at the National Disaster Risk Reduction and Management Council headquarters in Quezon City that his plan was to conduct an aerial inspection. He flew over Bulacan, Nueva Ecija, and Tarlac, according to Malacanang. And currently, President Marcos said both national and local governments are prioritizing the airlifting of food materials, food packs, and water to Quezon Province's Polillo Islands, which was affected by the typhoon's eye wall with fierce and torrential rains. Now, following the situation briefing with key cabinet members on the aftermath of the typhoon, the president said he will fly to see the level of water, but will not land in any area. Let's listen in.
Okay, now we are going to fly and to see. Talaga, I wanted to see what the level of the water is. Tingnan natin how far we can go para iba yung nakikita mo. So I will not land in any place because from my experience, pagka nasa local government ka, lalo na just after ay typhoon, marami silang trabaho. Kung pag bumaba ako, kailangan nila ako i-welcome, kailangan yung pulis sa akin, kailangan kukunin ko yung mga sasakyan nila. So, ang dami nilang kailangan gawin. So, makaka-istorbo lang ako. If time will come, we'll talk to them and see what else they need after the immediate emergency support.
Meanwhile, Central Vietnam residents are now reinforcing and preparing their homes and relocating boats to safe areas as Typhoon Noru, one of the strongest storms in 20 years, is set to hit the region this week. On Sunday afternoon, dozens of fishing boats were rushed to the Tin Key Airport or Tin Key Port in Quang Ngai Province to avoid getting stuck in Storm Noru's way. Take a look. Now, many of them had planned to be out at sea for 20 to 30 days, but they had to return to shore after just 1 week. Storm Noru on its way out to the Philippines is set to make landfall Wednesday in the central localities of Tuwa Tien Huy, Da Nang, Quang Nam, and Quang Ngai with wind speeds of 140 kilometers per hour. At a Sunday meeting chaired by Deputy Prime Minister Lee Van Tan, central provinces from Quang Binh to Binh Thuan said they were ready to evacuate over 860,000 residents to safe areas. According to official statistics, Quang Ngai has more than 5,600 fishing boats with nearly 35,000 fishermen. Lieutenant Colonel Lam Van Bien, head of the border guard station at Sa Ki Port, said his unit has contacted all ships and informed them of the direction of the storm so that they can seek shelter at the earliest. Quang Nam, meanwhile, home to the ancient town of Hoi An, is expected to be one of the hardest hit localities. On Sunday afternoon, Da Nang City started broadcasting announcements about the storm and precautions that need to be taken from loudspeakers mounted on pickup trucks. The city has asked authorities in coastal and low-lying areas to prepare plans for evacuating people to safe areas. And Tropical Storm Noru, which is located in the Philippine Sea, is now expected to hit Vietnam, the Lao PRD, and Thailand on Tuesday and Wednesday. It'll bring heavy to very heavy rainfall to the northern and northeastern regions of Thailand, and that is according to the Thai Meteorological Department. The monsoon trough over the southern part of the northern region, the Central Plains and southern part of the northeastern region is forecast to intensify during the same period, and this will bring a lot of rain to all parts of Thailand except the south. Bangkok saw rain throughout last night with heavy rainfall being reported in the Minburi, Lat Krabang, Bueng Kum, Sai Mai, Kai Na Yao, and Sapan Sung areas, resulting in flooding. The Meteorological Department has advised people in Bangkok to brace for a high tide and heavy rain today, which may hinder efforts to drain water into the Chao Phraya River via a network of canals. Widespread flooding was already reported in several northeastern and northern and central provinces today. The super typhoon, together with the strengthening monsoon prevailing over the Andaman Sea, Thailand, and the Gulf of Thailand, will bring heavy to very heavy rain to northeast central region, including Greater Bangkok, the east and south from Wednesday to Saturday. And people in these areas are now warned against flash floods and overflows, especially along waterways near foothills and lowlands. And now they are advised to keep up with weather updates. And the news continues here on ASEAN in Focus. We'll be back. Welcome back. The Philippine Embassy in Washington, D.C. issued an advisory to the Filipino communities there to prepare for two weather disturbances, Tropical Storm Fiona and Tropical Storm Ian, and undertake all necessary preparations and heed the warnings of local officials. Take a look. Now, Fiona had earlier claimed 7 lives as it roared through the Caribbean at the start of a week of havoc. More than 300,000 people were still without electricity across 5 provinces in Canada on Sunday after the storm felled trees, ripped roofs from buildings, and damaged power lines, according to officials. Hundreds of utility crews were working to restore power. Further south, parts of the Caribbean, as well as the U.S. state of Florida, were already prepared preparing for Tropical Storm Ian, which the U.S. National Hurricane Center said is forecast to become a hurricane on Monday and a major hurricane the following day. Packing winds of near 60 miles per hour and getting stronger, the storm is expected to pass near the Cayman Islands, either near or over western Cuba, and then head towards Florida. Now, Florida's Governor Ron DeSantis said Saturday that he had declared a statewide emergency in preparation for the storm, warning on Twitter that Floridians should take precautions. Authorities in several Florida municipalities, including Miami, Fort Lauderdale, and Tampa, began distributing free sandbags to residents to help them protect their homes from the risk of flooding. The death toll from a capsized boat off Cambodia's coast rose to 3 Chinese nationals on Saturday, with a further 9 rescued in Vietnamese waters and 8 still missing. Take a look.
什么今年好像在海上的话，感觉那个很旺，已经本来我们都有2次都想放弃了。 但是小了一下，还是坚持一下，就这样。
Now, the boat with 41 Chinese people on board got into difficulties off Sihanoukville on Thursday. Kiang Phierom, the spokesman for Cambodia's Priak Sihanouk Provincial Administration, told AFP rescue teams recovered 2 more bodies on Saturday, bringing the death toll to 3. 8 people still remain missing. Meanwhile, a Vietnamese border guard on duty at the An Toi station in Kiang Giang province told AFP that a fishing vessel had rescued 9 Chinese nationals in Vietnamese waters near Phuoc Ngoc Island on Friday. The formerly sleepy fishing village of Sihanoukville in Cambodia in recent years has been transformed into a casino hub following a Chinese investment boom. And there have been multiple recent reports of Chinese workers being duped into working in casinos or online scam operations in Sihanoukville and prevented from leaving. Cambodian authorities have been trying to crack down on human smuggling and trafficking networks following widespread reports of people from other Southeast Asian countries being tricked into migrating for job opportunities billed as lucrative. And finally, in our news, members of the Church of Christ in Thailand were picking up trash along the coast of Bang Sen Beach, aimed at combating waste problem worldwide. At the scene is our ASEAN Bureau Chief, Crystal Mapa.
Iglesia Ni Cristo members showed their care to the community by holding a coastal cleanup drive in Bang Sen Beach, one of the famous tourist spots here in Chonburi, Thailand. Members from central Bangkok and nearby provinces traveled for almost 2 hours to participate in the said event. Children, together with their parents and individuals, joined in picking up trashes along the seashore of Bang Sen Beach on a sunny Saturday. Brother Willen Regalado, the district supervising minister of Iglesia Ni Cristo members in Thailand, explains the motivation of the said activity.
The members of the Church of Christ will never stop engaging in this kind of activity. What truly inspires us is the reminder of our beloved executive minister that wherever we are, we should help the community we are in. So in this kind of activity, brethren, know that this is our duty or this is our obligation to help the country we are in. Motivation, because this is in connection with what the Bible teaches, that whatever help we could extend to our fellow men, we should do it as recorded in the Holy Scriptures. And this is what the brethren will always do and continue to do wherever we are.
From Thailand, I am Crystal Mapa. We live in extraordinary times.
Thank you, Crystal. And that's it for this broadcast. I'm Alma Angeles. Thank you for joining us here on ASEAN in Focus. As I always say, stay in the news because we live in extraordinary times. Good night.